Ahoy there! From behind the O-line, this is the Trammin'verse. I'm Captain Kirk, and today I'm joined by my first mate and fishmonger, Long John Silver.
Our Trammin'verse topic of the week is A Pirate's Life for Me.
Yo-ho. Welcome back to the Trammin'verse, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We're your hosts, Kirk and John. What is up, John?
Nothing really. Besides I'm gonna have a really big road trip very soon, which I have never done as the driver. So, the listeners and the viewers aren't gonna see this until roughly 2 weeks after we record today.
Yeah, so Rain, you will have heard Freddie's episode and then Rain's episode and then this one. So
yeah, so I'm a ways away, but then when you're listening, it'll be day of. So I'll be on the road when this comes out, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be somewhere in the middle of Colorado, Nebraska, or New Mexico, because we're going to go from here to Colorado. I think we're making a few stops in between, just so that I can rest. But we're going to go to my cousin's wedding. She actually wrote in to the show when I was on last. Taylor?
Right, yeah.
Taylor. Yeah, it's her wedding. And then I guess I can say it because it'll be out by the time I see him. I'm going to surprise my dad. I haven't seen him in quite a long time, and he's had some medical issues, sadly. So
He's good, though.
He is good, yes. It was a very big scare, though. That's the thing. So we're going to go surprise him. I did let a few people know that are over by him, so it's not just a hey, we're gonna stay with you. So people around him are aware that we're gonna show up. So it's all set up, and yeah, pretty much. Oh, and then from the last time I was on, we talked about my car and stuff, which is so funny because about 2 weeks after, my car died, and I ended up getting a new car. So I figured I'd bring that up because we did talk about my car last time, and I ended up getting just a newer, upgraded version of the car I had. So that's pretty much everything that's been new, other than I hung out with you guys on Monday. But that's gonna be so far from this is gonna come out so far from then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even, that'll just go in the next We Have It So Good, probably.
Yeah.
I don't even know. But for now. Psalm 1's John. John insisted. Dude, I wish I knew because I had so many freaking pickles today.
Okay. So it was a write-in I had. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I did bring it up last time I was on too. I said, hey, you guys should have Kevin make a pickle beer. Try it on the show. It'll be funny if you guys like it. It'll be funny if you guys don't like it. It'll just be a good time. Well, that never happened. So I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I found one, and I brought it today.
Donna's
I've had
pickle beer.
I like it. I've had it. I want to see how Kirk likes it.
All right. Well, you're drinking half of this, buddy.
Oh, I'll drink it.
So let's the finest brine, Donna's pickle beer. You'll relish every sip. It's lager with real pickle juice.
It says that she came up with this, Donna, because she was eating a jar of pickles backstage for some kind of music show, and then all of a sudden, I guess she was brought onto the stage, and Mick Jagger kissed her, and he had just drank a beer. So she had those flavors going on in her mouth, and she couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm like, that is the weirdest description of a story for why you have a beer ever. So
Okay, Donna. Good for you, Donna. So there we go. Donna's does Donna have orange hair? Oh, it says it here. Donna was backstage at the Garden, eating pickles from a jar. In a flash of light, she was pushed on stage and kissed full on the mouth by a beer-drinking Mick Jagger. It was electric. No, not the kiss. The taste in her mouth. Beer and pickles. That night, Donna's pickle beer was born. 4.4%.
I have no idea who Donna is, by the way. So.
Pilot Project Brewing in Chicago, Illinois, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On the coaster from Fort Collins. We're still here, Paula. All right, John.
Cheers. It's not rum.
What does Jack say at the end? It's like grand larceny. Yeah, drink up me, hearties.
Drink up me, hearties. So what do you think? What do you think?
I kind of like it.
Right?
A lot of dill, but that's okay.
It's not too pickly though.
Okay. I know this has
And
pickle
it's not
brine
too
in
salty.
it, but you know what it's like? Have you had the Dr. Pepper with the pickle in it at
Nope.
the fair?
I've never tried it.
You should, because it's really good. Sorry,
Okay.
guys, but it is.
I am the weirdo
It's-
that really like the pickle lemonade at
This is
Disneyland
as
though, too,
if
so.
you took a couple pickles out of the jar.
Okay.
You did not dry them off. Like you just took them straight out, so they still have some juice on them.
Oh, okay.
This is what this tastes like,
Okay.
and that's what they do to the Dr. Pepper. Threw them in the beer, so this tastes like it just got that hint.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually quite like this. I don't know if I'd go buy it and put it in my fridge,
Yeah.
but if someone's like, "Hey, here, dude," as long as it's cold, I'm in.
Yeah.
So good job. But something we do during Kev's Concoctions, and we might just change the music later. John got me some birthday gifts very early.
Because of me not being here.
Yeah. So that's okay.
I won't be able to celebrate.
So you got me heavier than I thought. The Black Pearl.
It's not from the movies or anything.
Yeah,
it's just that's what they're calling it.
it's
I just was looking for a sick pirate ship.
It's
for
a
Kirk.
brick set. That's okay. It'll be cool. It'll go on the set probably. So the top shelf, I don't know if we might zoom out for people at some point. This is the new set that people are seeing for the second time, but this is our first try. So I hope
It's gonna throw people off
Yeah,
for
it is.
sure. Because I'm
like,
like,
oh, why is this so gross? So Lego are gonna go on top for now. I have a bunch of Lego that I put away.
Yeah.
I have to come back.
yeah. So because of all the Legos I saw when I was here last, I was like, oh, Kirk's in the Legos and stuff, and I've always wanted to grab a Lego pirate ship. But then we also talked about how you really like the old Audi Quattro. So I was like, it's either gonna be the Audi Quattro, like a little mini Lego, thing you can build, and you can just put it up on one of your shelves, or well, I didn't know you had this.
Yeah,
yet,
no
so.
one knows. Kimmy knows. That's it.
Or it was that, and I was like, you know what? He just invited me on for pirates. Let's grab the pirate ship. So that's what I did.
Oh, thank you. And he also brought me Assassin's Creed Black Flag novelization, which you have not read.
No,
Own
I
it?
didn't read it. A friend gave it to me, and I kind of put it away and just never got to it. And honestly, right now I'm replaying the game as well. So,
So if I tell you the book is good, will you read it?
yeah.
Do you read?
I'll
John?
go through it. No, I do not read, but I am a big pirate fan, or of the history and just the fantasy of it all. So I would definitely check it out, because I mean, I'm actually really curious to see if it actually follows the story of the game, or if it's like a side story maybe that they say is canon or something.
We'll see. I'll let you know. But there's one more thing, John. I got you something really stupid.
You got me something.
I got you something really stupid. I'm gonna open it just so I know what it looks like before I give it to you.
You got me treasure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, here it's fun. It'll be funny if you kind of open it. So just slide it open, John. Just slide it open. Just slide it open. Just slide it open. All right. Just slide it out. John, you don't have to use this. All right. If you're not gonna use it, let me know. I'll just take it back. John is like the freaking ugliest phone case in the entire world. All right. It's got a camera cover, which it doesn't need because cameras are raised. Okay. It has a stand. You don't use that as a pop socket, do you? It's just a stand.
It's just a stand.
Yeah.
I was using it actually just now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The stand blocks it from wirelessly charging, which is insane. Now, show everyone again. Show everyone. Turn it around. Turn the phone around. John looks like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but John looks like he has a $200 track phone from 8 years ago from Walmart. But he has a Galaxy S25 that came out earlier this year. 2 months ago?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, did you get that phone this year?
Yes.
Okay, I'm making sure I bought you the right case. That's the thing.
No, I got this phone.
You were not completely sure of which phone you
I
had.
paid for a phone 2 days before I bought the new car.
Oh, okay.
It was a very expensive week.
Mm-hmm. So let's try this out, John. Live on the air. Now, here's the thing. This is like some other Chinese thing. Thing about John, he loves red.
Well,
So I can't just impose my beliefs on people. All right. So John loves red. So this has many red accents. Honestly, cool, shiny red accents, but it's still black. Dude, that's such a sick phone, too. And you're just like, yeah. And You like the kickstand, so this still has a kickstand.
Mm-hmm.
It works this way.
That's cool, actually.
And it works this way.
Hey, man, look. So I was explaining it to Jeff when Jeff was also roasting me about the phone case.
Mhm.
I was trying to explain to him, but I was really badly coughing. My favorite DC character is Red Hood, and Red Hood wears red and black, and he actually kind of has this aesthetic going on with his outfits.
So that's why I went with, like, it's got all this. It's like metallic over here.
No, this is perfect too, because then I can also put the Red Hood pop socket on it.
Yeah, it's a magnetic pop socket?
It's the sticky stuff.
No. So check this out, John. So this is a MagSafe ring.
Oh, so I can still charge it, wireless charge it.
Yes, but now your phone and iPhones share MagSafe. It's just called Qi 2 for non-iPhones.
Okay.
Samsung famously did not put it in the phone because they know everyone gets a case.
Okay.
So there's magnets in here.
Okay.
And it'll just slap on. But what is cool...
Am I able to do it in the car?
So here's the thing. In the car, you still got to plug in because... do you have wireless CarPlay?
No, it's the cord.
Okay.
Which I couldn't even find the USB port for it for the longest time.
What's funny is you might have wireless and you don't even know, right?
Dude, I'm so bad with technology.
So that's number one. Number two, I'll get a link for it from my dad.
Okay.
They sell these things. You stick to your car and it's got the ring.
I've seen that, yeah.
And then you just plop your phone on there.
Yep, and it just...
And you have your phone on a stand, which you don't need as much because you have Android, but pop it on. I'm just curious. If you don't like it, that's fine. I don't care. I just thought it would be very silly to get you this. Hold on, let me... Yeah, I really hope.
I'm pushing everything.
I really hope it's the right one. Because you're like, I think I have this phone.
It's the S25. It's the S25. But it's no special version. So there's
no
plus.
This isn't the plus. It's just like a tight case.
It's
maybe?
probably...
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
just
okay. All right.
Right in there.
So, yeah, there you go. I don't have I should have brought the MagSafe ring up. Oh, you got to take that sticker off now. Why is that even on?
I forget. I forget what it even is.
It's the sticker that they use to put it in the box so they know it's the right phone. Like, it's not, you don't need it. Yeah, literally just like 128 gigabyte.
Oh.
Whatever.
I thought it was something important.
Nope. So, stick it back on. Put it back in.
Also, sorry, guys. I have a slight cough.
Was that Gemini or whatever? So, yeah, look, your cameras are way protected. They're like in there, dude.
Oh, yeah. And they got like...
It's got that red hood. And it's got the kickstand.
Well, hey, thank you a bunch.
I know this is stupid.
Oh,
this
was feels just nicer too.
I'm telling you, man. I get it. You want the red case with the funky stuff? That's a matter of taste.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like, I can't wirelessly charge the phone, I'm like, okay.
Like I need the red guy.
Hold it up.
People hear my name.
Hold it up. I'm gonna send this to the guys. All right.
No context of why I'm wearing the bandana.
So, yeah, hope you enjoy it. I almost bought you a MagSafe charger. I'm like, all right, we're going to calm down. I'll show you the ways of the MagSafe, and you're going to go buy one.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what MagSafe is.
Okay, so you don't have to buy an Apple one, first of all. Belkin has one. It's like a 10-foot cable. Point is, it is a ring of magnets.
Okay.
And inside of the magnets, in the center, is the wireless charging coil.
Okay.
So, the reason MagSafe is important, wireless charging is very inefficient. Because you're usually off center and you don't line it up right. And wireless charging, sometimes you put it on the pad and you miss and it doesn't charge.
So does it do something?
The rings align it to the charger. And when it recognizes that it's aligned, it'll charge faster. But you can also put like, they have like a pop socket type thing or like a ring, and a ring will pop out of it. But you can still charge through it. You could put it on a stand. They have those wallets now that go on the back of the phone.
Okay.
So like there's all these like things that are compatible with it. But that'll just make it easier for you to wirelessly charge. And if you see one of those car mounts that you want.
It feels thinner too. That's nice.
It had a camera cover. That thing was crazy. Because, you can't convince someone to buy something. But if you give it to them. So yeah, let me know. Try the standout. Actually, that might help you right now with the episode.
Yeah.
Because you could do a vertical. So you got to go like half open. Like the other.
Oh.
Like, okay, here, let me show you.
Wait, like.
No. Yeah.
There.
See?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, thank you.
Because I wasn't going to buy you an iPhone. Sheridan, don't worry. I'm not going to bully him more.
No,
But now
just the others will-
Jeff will have to find something else to bully you about.
Not having an iPhone.
No, because he's like, he gets it, I guess.
Okay.
Because look, the RCS thing has problems,
Mhm.
but he's just been like patient with it because he wants to talk to you.
I'm always like, one day I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm just waiting.
Nah, dude, we got to get on Signal. If it's good enough for the government, it's good enough for us. All right. We're supposed to do this before because we've been just going on, but let's. Oh, I don't even know where the sound is because we've been messing with it. Let's swab the deck with shipkeeping. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard Trammin', a Disneyland podcast where we normally talk about the Disneyland Resort through and only through our eyes. Listen to full episodes every Wednesday or topic-only uploads on Big Thunder Thursdays, and every now and then an episode of the Trammin'verse. If you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, comment, and review us wherever you can, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Rain's favorite, YouTubes. Head to Trammin.com to write into the show, find our socials, and request access to our Discord, just like someone did recently. You can find all these links and lore on Trammin.com. So it is immediately time to get into our Trammin'verse topic of the week. A pirate's life for me, for us. So, John, you like pirates.
Yes.
I like pirates.
Yes.
It's probably one of the first things we talked about beyond Kingdom Hearts might have been number 1, Black Flag number 2.
Yes.
Which is an Assassin's Creed game. So what this topic is like series of questions that we're going to ask ourselves. What is it about pirates that we like? What's influenced our view of pirates, that kind of thing? What makes us into it? Like stuff around it. We'll bring the ride in a little bit. We're not going to we're going to do the ride thing again at another time. So yeah, John, what comes to mind when you think of a pirate?
Like if someone just says pirates or the word pirates,
Like think of a pirate.
I would think of cutlasses, their ship. What's their ship's name?
So you don't go to the
clothing
person
they wear.
immediately. Okay, so what's their clothing look like? Like what do they look like?
Well, it depends on what type of pirate you're talking about because obviously there was captains and there was first mates and then there was the crewmen, the rest of the crew. And also I think a lot of it depended on what they were wearing when they were because a lot of pirates also were kind of captured and offered to be put on, and if they weren't, they were either marooned or they weren't like put in the ocean or anything, but like I think they were held captive. The whole walk the plank thing is not exactly accurate, but they would wear a lot of things to protect themselves from the salty air, and so like bandanas, that was true. They wore a bunch of hats to protect themselves from the sun. Obviously sunscreen wasn't really a thing, so they still had dark skin. But like some captains, they would just take the clothing off of other, like let's say Royal Navy or the Spanish.
So that's where their jackets and stuff came from.
Or they would use, for example, Samuel Bellamy had a very expensive coat he bought from selling his sugar and stuff that he took from other ships. So I personally do not think of like the peg legs or the hook hands or even the eye patch really, because I'm one of the weirdos that got really into the pirate stuff, so I know the real history. And in fact, if you really think about it, the whole peg leg thing doesn't make sense, because if you're trying to sword fight, it's all about footwork, and if you don't have the foot, you don't have 2 feet, you're not gonna win the fight. I'm sorry. I also think of the 4 pistols strapped to their chests, because they actually did do that too. So Blackbeard was known to have that, and Samuel Bellamy was also known to have the 4 strapped to his chest.
Yeah, I'll have to think about with pirates. Yeah, I think of the classic, the bandana, tattered clothes.
Oh yeah, definitely tattered clothes.
Cutlasses, the like very protected hilts. on whatever swords they're using.
I also think of like not great looking teeth and
the gold tooth.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think of the classic thing. You out there are probably thinking the same thing. Like, what is a pirate? Boom, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you said it. You think of the ship.
Yeah.
So what would your ship's name be?
Oh man.
Would it be the Haunted Harris? Would that,
Or I could do like Harris Hawk, the Harris Hawk, because some ships are named after birds.
Like a jackdaw. We'll bring that up. Yeah, I don't know. What would I name my ship? The Salty Pine. I don't know what that means, but I like it. The Salty Pine.
Well, what's funny too is sometimes pirates would actually capture a ship, see the name of it, and be like, no, we're going to change this.
Yeah. Nah, never mind. I was going to say something silly. So, yeah, the ship is part of why we...
The ship is the most important part.
Yeah. Some may say it's the main character of a video game. We don't say that. So, the ship. I don't know where I want to start with the ship. You want to start with designs of a ship? You want to start at,
well, there's
I want a ship, like
there's different
life on a
types
ship.
too. There's the schooners. There's the ones that they called canoes, but they don't look like the canoes that most people think of when you hear the word canoe. There's the frigates, the corvettes. I think when I think of a ship, the ship that comes into my mind is mainly the frigate.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think of the cannons. I think of whatever headpiece they have at the very front of it. And then also just the amount of rows of cannons too.
Yeah, it's always...
And what the sail colors are, or if they're tattered or not.
Okay, let's start at like life on a ship. Like,
it was rough.
Yeah, but we don't think of it that way.
No, everyone thinks it's going to be this great swashbuckling grand old time, but no, you're in the sun all the time. And when you're not in the sun, it's because there's a storm. You're getting rained on usually. Have fun figuring out how to sleep when you have rainwater and ocean water going all around you, because remember, you're deep inside the ship and they didn't always have water spillways. So a lot of the time there would just be maybe like a foot of water inside of your ship below deck. Also, you and everyone around you is not going to smell great. So
I wonder if people like got used to that. You know what I mean? Like, do you just not stop smelling it after a while?
I'm guessing they had to have.
Think of people who just smell like butt. At Disneyland, like they don't smell that.
Yeah. And sometimes you think it's huge. You're like, oh no.
No,
no.
There's no way. It's like rank.
Yeah.
So, but what do we think of? There was that meme going around like a month or two ago, which was like it was just a picture of a ship, and it was like, imagine just getting one of these and hanging with your bros on the high seas. It's like that's I think what we imagine things.
Yeah.
And why we are so like we get obsessed over pirates, because
a lot of it's the fantasy of it, though.
Yeah,
you're
but
seeing all the adventure and the like rewards of it essentially, and you're thinking you're not seeing the chore of it. You're just seeing the fun of it.
Like, yeah, you don't see or you don't think of like
the diseases.
Yeah, you don't even think of the piracy.
Yeah,
the pillaging
or the rope burns or how callous your hands are gonna be. And
yeah, like I think of something that went like showed both sides was the show Black Sails.
I need to watch it so bad.
Have you watched it at all?
No.
Okay, I only watched the first season, which I'm mad about. I love it. You would love Black Sails. The thing that they do so well, which had to have cost so much, everyone.
Are they on the ship?
They're on a ship, but they're sun-baked.
Oh, no.
Like,
you don't think it was like spray?
What do you mean?
Like spray tan?
No, they have the freckles, dude.
Oh.
Like, let's see, Black Sails character.
Does it lean more into like realistic stuff or the fantasy stuff?
Okay.
Is it a mix of both? Because that's fun too.
You're gonna get. You don't know anything about it?
No.
Black Sails.
I don't even know who it's about or if it's about anyone.
It's a prequel to Treasure Island.
Oh, no way.
So what's the captain's name?
Um.
The original captain. They were on his ship.
Oh man. I had it earlier. Because I know the other ones.
Would it be in here? So this is Treasure Island. We're gonna bring up Treasure Island in a moment. Dude, check this out. The gold foil.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Shout out to the Laguna bookstore.
Also, speaking of this book, I already said it though, huh?
Captain Flint.
Yes,
Captain Flint is the main character.
I'm pretty sure he's in Treasure Planet too. They have a character named Flint as well.
Yeah, like he in Treasure Island, he's already dead, I think.
Yeah.
Or he's gone.
Oh, in Treasure Planet or Treasure Island?
Island.
Oh, okay.
Or he's gone. Like I think he like disappeared.
Okay.
I don't know if he died. But then
Flint might be the one that has the planet in the Treasure Planet movie too. I think. I feel like Flint is involved. I know
like Flint
Johnny
is not
Silver.
a character in Treasure Island.
Uh-huh.
The person who drops in at the beginning is Billy Bones.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Captain Flint is like the main character of Black Sails.
Okay.
And then when you first meet John Silver, like it's cool because you're like, you forget like that's just his name. It's not Long John Silver. It's just like, oh, I'm John Silver. Like, so when you see that, it's cool. So yeah, it's prequel to Treasure Island. But it is very like HBO, like there's like nudity and stuff in it.
Okay.
So it's like,
I mean, I watch Game of Thrones. So
I know, it's just like, don't watch it in the living room, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a really good show, but everyone's like super sunbaked and like red and toasty. And, I want like a regular,
like they just look like they've been out.
They look like
hard at work in the sun doing ship.
dude, like look at these.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, we've been out here for a while. It's a great show. So I recommend that one. But yeah, even it has like, oh look, they're like on the seas. It's adventurous, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the whole ship like gets into a fight with itself, and like, or they get boarded.
Oh, like
and
they have a mutiny.
And like 25 people die, brutal deaths, because that's, you know what I mean. So it's like,
well, I mean,
they're gonna
be brutal. You got pistols, hatchets, and cutlasses.
Yeah,
they're gonna
and
be.
then it's
brutal.
like, oh, this guy's arm got chopped off, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's not glorious, you know. And they're often like, they're poor. They do actually like, you know, I think some of it is based in history because there is no prequel to Treasure Island.
Yeah.
It like,
so they probably try to do something.
So they're okay. So they'll be in like Nassau or something, right?
Inspiration.
And like the East India Company will be like, all right, if you run this route for us, like a smuggler, we'll pay you.
Or even kind of, it actually kind of sounds like it could have been like a privateer type thing too.
Yeah. So they're like, it's like, we know you guys kind of suck, but like we know you need money, and we also need to like get past this blockade. It's dangerous or whatever. Like, you take this,
which is crazy because that happened in real life too.
Yeah.
There would be politicians and governors.
They need to pump their numbers up.
Yep.
So they get like the pirates to run it.
I mean, if you think about it too, so in real life, pirates didn't. Well, you know, they would if they could. They didn't always get gold and silver and like they didn't get like shiny gold things.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the time it was sugar, ships, because they would use ships for their own fleet too to help take over other ships or get more goods. But yeah, silk, just a lot of trading goods is what they took back then. But they knew people to sell that stuff too. So it's like, ooh, you had to know the ins and outs. Otherwise, you could get caught really easily. You know, you just show up in a port and be like, hey, I just happen to have all this stuff. Well, if you tell the wrong person that, next thing you know, you're at the gallows.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of like, just like, it's not mundane, but like they were just people doing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not all like, I'm on the high seas and it's like, oh, we're starving. We got scurvy.
Oh, and that's another thing too, is when we were talking about the hardships, is you didn't know when your next meal was essentially.
Well, they would like, they had a barrel of apples and a barrel of bread. And that was kind of it. And it was hardtack.
You would leave port and you would have this abundance of food, but then it would run out, and then you wouldn't know. It would be like, okay, cool, the first week and a half or the first 2 weeks were great, but now what?
Yeah, and it was always like this super dry bread.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't go bad. And you could put it in the salt water and kind of make it somewhat edible, right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though
and
you
they'd
really
eat like
shouldn't.
plantains too.
Yeah. So yeah, they weren't having chicken, you know.
No.
If they came across stuff, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
John Silver's whole story is he's the cook.
Yeah.
So yeah, Black Sails, very cool. Kind of gives you like a little bit of that more realistic insight,
Mm-hmm.
because they go over some of the stuff in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where like you go to like the sugar stores and all that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff.
You go to
But
like your fence.
yeah, but it's not really. It's just fun. You don't have to feed
Yeah,
the
you
guys
just
and whatever.
run up to him and be like, "Hey, I'm selling this." Boom, and it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. So let's talk Treasure Island. So you haven't read the book.
No, but I
You've
do
seen
know.
a movie of it? Or?
No, but I do know Treasure Island is the big reason why pirates in the mainstream media have hook hands. They have the eye patches. They talk like R, and
Yeah.
they have the way they sound, and they have the peg legs. All that, and the parrots. All that is because of Treasure Island. So I guess Treasure Island, either the book or the movie did well enough that became what pirates are to everybody after.
Yeah, the book was super popular. I think even like for us, like we read it in high school.
Mhm.
I didn't, because it was like certain classes did.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very much this thing came out, and now the view of what we thought is completely changed and now completely misconstrued. So like, sorry to burst everyone's bubble, like the treasure and all that stuff. That's not what they were always going for.
What? Yeah. Where would there be buried treasure?
Oh yeah,
they
that
would
too.
use it.
And buried treasure too. That I only know of one captain who ever buried his treasure, and that was Captain Kidd, and he buried it because he crossed the line and actually killed somebody. That's
Mhm.
another thing too, is these pirates weren't just out killing everybody. It wouldn't make sense for them to do that because they're just trying to use fear tactics and catch you off guard. Heck, sometimes they would storm a boat completely naked to catch people off guard. And because that's all they need. They just need you to be like, okay, take what you want and go. So a lot of times they didn't even fight. And that's also another like misconstrued thing is that, or a misconception is people think like it was always a ship fight, to which ship will sink. And it's like, no, why would you sink a ship that has the stuff you want on it?
Yeah.
So there
You
would
would want
be
the ship too.
that too. You would. What if the ship is better than the one you have, or what if it's in a better condition than the one you have? You've been using the same ship, and I say attacking, but you get what I mean, like jumping on other ships and taking over. But you will every now and then get shot at, and you risk running aground everywhere you go. So, your ship is always it's always a constant state of, hey, this thing could be damaged at any second. And I say that also because of storms. I don't know if we'll get into it, but a lot of my favorite pirate, Samuel Bellamy, he actually didn't lose to anybody. He died because of a storm. A storm literally took him out as he was heading back to where he came from. So let me get into him real quick. Samuel Bellamy became a pirate because he heard of the Spanish fleet of 1715. And if you don't know what the Spanish fleet of 1715 is it was like 10 ships, Spanish treasure fleet filled with coins and basically the treasure that we all think of.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what it was. And a bunch of other like goods and stuff. So this storm takes out all 10 ships. It's all 10 ships and they're not that far off land. So Samuel Bellamy hears this story and he's a poor sailor, and he has this woman that he loves, and her parents don't approve of him, and he basically tells her, "I'm gonna go find that treasure, and I'm gonna come back a rich man, and your parents will accept me. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong." Dude goes off for a year and a half, and he does. He gets all this stuff. He becomes one of the most successful pirates ever. Actually, at one point I think he had the record for how much wealth he had accumulated over time. And so him and his best friend slash shipmate, his shipmate ends up getting his own ship as well, Paul's
Mhm.
Grave Williams. So they're all heading back towards where they're from, basically to be like, hey, told you so. Here's everything. And of all things, he goes out the same way he got in, a storm.
Oof.
And only 2 out of like 400 people survived. In fact, he actually had a 10-year-old boy on his ship, and because the storm was so violent, the stuff that was on board the ship, it crushed the kid. And we know that Samuel Bellamy drowned because 1, we never saw him again, and 2, a guy was walking along the shore, and he saw the coat I brought up earlier. He saw a man in the coat, a very well looking coat, and he flipped him over, and his face was all messed up. And he saw he had these 4 pistols strapped to him, and he took them off of him and just kept walking. So that's how we know Samuel Bellamy didn't make it. And then we also know he didn't make it because one of the other survivors ends up at the gallows also, even though he tries to plead his case that he was innocent. So,
not a glorious life.
Yeah, if so, pirate life was glorious for short time spans. Because even when you did get all the money, they would spend it so fast. And we don't have to, well, we know kind of what they spend it on. And they also spend it on women. I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and they would go to like Tortuga, or even later on Port Royal actually starts to become more of a pirate central city. I know in the movies it's not, but Port Royal actually becomes more of like a pirate haven. And then also Nassau and like places like Kingston. So they knew where to go to sell their stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. I feel like I was going on and on.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So, okay.
I don't even remember how we got on that.
So we talked about ships, how their life really was.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's get into the fantasy a little more. So
Okay.
I think we should go off Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Okay.
If you're not into video games, don't worry. We're not going to talk about like
The game
how good it feels to
mechanics
climb.
yeah.
Like don't worry. So in Black Flag, you're a pirate who finds out he's like kind of an assassin, and someone gives you the jackdaw or something. Like, how do you end up with it? You get a ship. Point is, you get a ship.
Yeah.
It's called the jackdaw. You're the pirate. You're also an assassin. And you like go around, you get a crew. And some of the crew and some of the crew are just like, they're just part of the crew. Right?
Some of them you end up freeing because, yes, slavery was a thing back then. Some of them you end up freeing and your character's like, I don't care what you are, where you come from. This is my goal. You want to be a part of it? Let's stick it to the man. And then they agree.
Yeah, because I think you give them a choice, right? You could just set them free.
Yeah.
Or you can hire them, I think is what it is. And you give them like 300 coins or something. And they become part of your crew. So, yeah. And did you ever play a DLC?
Liberty Cry, or something like that.
Oh.
The one with
right. Yeah, it had another name. Yeah. I thought it was Liberation, but that's the other one.
No, I actually don't even. I think you're getting revenge for him.
You are him.
Yeah, you're playing as him, but you're getting like revenge on the person that enslaved you, I think.
Something like that.
But
yeah, interesting stuff. But so you get this like fantasy of you have a ship. You can go wherever you want. And dude, when you would put it on like fast mode, like it would zoom out and you would hear the wind.
Oh, and you're gonna say the sea shanties?
And then you get the sea shanties.
Yeah, and you collect those in the world, so you get new ones over time.
Yeah, and your guys just sing these songs.
Yep.
And they're amazing. They were recorded just for the game.
When I'm playing it, Sheridan hums some of them.
Oh, dude. What's your favorite? Favorite sea shanty? Go. You out there. What's your favorite sea shanty?
It's the one, it goes, oh, why can't I think? Dude, you put me
You know
on
one word on it?
Oh, what do you do with the drunken sailor?
You like Drunken Sailor?
Yeah.
That's like too classic for me. My favorite is the I dreamed a dream the other night, and then all of them. They no. Does he start with it? Or I think so. It's just one guy says that. Then the rest of the guys, lowlands, lowlands away.
Oh, okay, yes, I
me
know.
John.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
I love how some of them start off with one guy. There's actually quite a few that start off with one guy, and then the rest of the crew joins in.
And so, and then I think like the next lines are like, that night she came all dressed in white, and the lowlands, and then like, okay, I forgot how it ends, but then it's like this somber like lowlands away. That's the best song, dude. And
there's so many though too. Like,
oh yeah, there's a
they'll
lot.
Start singing them. I'm like, I don't know this one at all, and then I'll like zone out or something, and I'm like, oh, I know this one.
Yeah, and then if you go on like online and someone brings up Black Flag,
Mm-hmm.
usually there is a comment that just has lowlands in all caps, and then all the comments underneath are just lowlands away. But yeah, it's so fun because you're like, you press a button, it's like, how about a song? And then they all go. And I've tried listening to them on their own. It doesn't work without the wind and the water, dude.
Oh no,
It doesn't sound right because it's a studio recording.
yeah.
But there are like some YouTube ones that have the guy just goes into the sailing mode.
You can hear the ocean
Yeah.
just bouncing off your ship, and your ship's just trudging through it, and
So I think that's part of it too. It's like being out on the open
you
sea.
can hear the sails flapping too.
Yeah, open ocean with a splash. Dude, being out in the wind, body of water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know people get seasick, but don't worry about that right now. Like the light spray of the ocean, the saltiness in the air, seagulls. Like, I think it gives you that you're on the beach, but it's like this is your life. You know, it's that extra feeling.
Yeah.
And it's like a freedom fantasy. You know?
Well, what's crazy too is like for them it actually was in a lot of cases freedom too, because your options were work a farm, join the military, I guess get involved with the politics, a lot of harder things where even if you did join the military or if you were in like a merchant ship or any of that stuff, a lot of the merchants, they would either get robbed by other pirates or they would get the short end of the stick by who they were bringing the goods to. And same goes for the Royal Navy. A lot of the times the money wasn't distributed very evenly, whereas pirates actually did have their own rules and codes on their ship. That's a real thing. And they might not earn as much as like the captain or the first mate, but for the most part, it wouldn't be that much big.
Like it was like
the gap wouldn't be that.
Yeah,
much
and
bigger.
it was if we all pull this off.
Yes, it was a team effort,
yeah.
and everyone understood it was a team effort. Of course, not all captains treated all their crewmates the same too.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's also where like mutinies and stuff come from, where it's like,
Yes.
or even like little betrayals, like, hey, we get rid of a couple guys,
Mhm.
our share goes up, you know. And I know that's some of the fantasy, like
Well,
from the movies and whatever.
No,
but-
actually, Blackbeard did that.
Mhm.
So when Blackbeard wanted to retire, he realized he had like 200 men and was like, this is way too many people if I want to retire. And he straight up just left some of them. Like he just straight up left some of them. Like, oh, there we go, more money for the rest of us.
And this kind of like brings up the point of like when they on Pirates of the Caribbean the ride,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, oh, we got to get rid of this scene or whatever.
Okay.
And it's like they're not good guys.
No.
You know, we're not pretending they're good guys.
Well, it very much depends on how you look at it.
They have a code of honor.
Yeah. And
Okay.
they're in their mind, they're also sticking it to the man. Like they're sticking it.
But
to the
it's like an
people they
honor among
feel-
thieves. It's like you're still a thief,
Yeah.
but you have honor. It's weird.
But also keep in mind too, a lot of them started off as privateers.
Mhm.
So the queen was like, "Here's your letters of marque. You're able to legally steal from countries we're at war with or we're having issues with, but do not steal from one of ours." And for the most part, they would follow those rules, And then next thing you know, the letters of marque were taken away from them, and they're like, "You're on your own now, and we don't have another job for you. Good luck." So then they were like, "Well, we only know how to do one thing. That's what
Mhm.
we've been doing this entire time." So then, in a way, it was like, "Screw the queen. We're gonna go for everybody now." So that was another thing too.
Hold on. I had a random idea. This has nothing to do with this episode, but it has to do with Trammin. Did Rain talk about his coffee table? Oh,
And
you see Jeff's response to your case?
no,
It's good. You're on the road to being Jeff's friend. No, I'm kidding.
the running
He-
joke on Monday was he doesn't like me.
Oh no, dude. If Jeff to your face says I don't like you,
Yeah.
you're one of his favorites. It's got to be. So, yeah, Rain said MagSafe is a game changer, and Jeff in all caps wrote tasteful.
And Freddie said yes with an exclamation point.
Let's see. I'm asking Rain if he still has that coffee table. What if, John?
What?
What if this was a 3-seat couch?
This?
Lower. 3-seat couch. Coffee table. No desk. Kind of chill, right?
Yeah, it would be really chill.
But the camera would be pointed like just below chest. We're not getting the man spread, you know.
I mean, if you feel like you can make it work, you just rearranged everything.
He's got a
though.
coffee table that's really low. It's skinnier than this thing.
Okay.
It's like a surfboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't buy this. I never bought this. This is just here. Rain made this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, guys. I know spoilers that no one's watching. Pokemon pack is ready. Doesn't matter. So, sorry. What was the last thing we were on, John? That was my bad. They're freed men, a code of honor, Blackbeard. Okay, so yeah, we have the fantasy of being out on the open ocean.
Oh, you were talking about the being free.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, let me just jump on that real quick too. The enslaved people that they would run into by capturing ships, they would look at it as, hey, I'm more free on this pirate ship than I would ever be either on mainland or on any other ship. So then they would jump aboard or become a part of the crew. Now, I can't say for certain if they were treated as equally as everybody else. That was probably case by case basis. I would hope that some didn't care. But tricky subject.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but they knew for a fact, without a doubt, that they would be more free on a pirate ship than they would probably anywhere else at the time.
Well, yeah, it's almost like okay. It's almost like running your own business,
Mm-hmm.
like with people. You know, it's like I'm an entrepreneur, not me. You do some entrepreneurial thing.
Okay.
It's a little scary,
Yeah.
right? You could end up with nothing, right? And I know this is not like being a pirate, but just stick with
I mean,
me,
hey, you
everyone.
could end up with nothing.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying is, it's not like
Some
you're
of
gonna
them
get
did.
murdered or whatever. Like, you might, but but like you could end up with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You are fully responsible for what happens to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're not just getting a check. Like
Yeah.
you gotta put things on the line, and you might be like, I know we're talking about this stuff, but like a slave to your own work. But you are choosing that life
Yeah.
instead of you're at this company. You might make enough to live, but are you
Yeah.
living?
Yeah.
You know, you're just like lowly employee. No one cares about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You know, I get
And
you.
where like even if you're like kind of in like even like the startups, right? There is the captain,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, you know, I'm a part of this, and if we do well, we'll all do well together.
Yeah. And they would even vote sometimes on like, hey, there's a ship there. Let's analyze our risk versus reward. Take
Mhm.
a vote. Yay or nay. Let's go or no. And they would do the same for a lot of other decisions too. I mean, even voting for back to Samuel Bellamy. So there was a pirate named Benjamin Hornigold. He and Henry Jennings, another pirate. They kind of helped form the pirate haven in Nassau, and I believe they created the Flying Gang, which is such a weird name to me because I'm like, you're not flying, you're on the water.
They're flying on the water, dude.
And
I
that
don't know.
had that had a bunch of people in it.
Mhm.
That had Calico Jack, that had or John Rackham, Calico Jack, John Rackham. His nickname was Calico Jack because he wore a lot of calico type clothing,
Mhm.
the material. Um, and then there was Charles Vane and um, oh man, Stede Bonnet, Blackbeard. I had all the names, but basically they had kind of a company or an organization of like these are our top dogs and this is how it goes. Well, eventually, um, Henry Jennings kind of got bitter and jealous of how Hornigold his side seemed to be doing a lot better. So, um, but then, what was I doing saying about Samuel Bellamy? What did you bring up?
Uh, Flying.
Oh, oh,
The flying gang.
the
You're
flying.
talking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so they were. Oh, that's why. So Samuel Bellamy. Oh, about the voting and everything. Samuel Bellamy, over his year and a half of piracy, he actually there came a vote in Nassau where they actually said, no, we're not doing Benjamin Hornigold as the pirate king, so to say. Now it's Samuel Bellamy. So
Mm.
that was like how there was a lot of agreements and discussions and team efforts, which I think is very interesting because, like, when most people think of pirates, they think of bloodthirsty pirates.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's I think that, and I think there's a lot we might never know too.
oh, there
You
is
know,
definitely a lot we may never know.
like we hear a lot. You know, we have all these like.
In fact, a lot of what we know of these guys, of these pirates, um, and I shouldn't say just these guys because there was Anne Bonny and Mary Read also. But the reason why we know so much about these pirates and we don't even know how much really is fact and fiction is because of I forget his name, but someone wrote a book 20 years, I think, after all this. So that's what everyone is
Yeah, you just
basically
gotta
going
believe it.
based on. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the. I forgot what it's called the something of embarrassment, where it's like there are certain things. It gets into religion a little bit, whether or not like you believe in like miracles that happened or whatever, but that like this person existed and these people followed them,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone agrees, and there's I wish I knew the first word, but it's like the point is you wouldn't lie about this because if you got caught lying, you're disgraced.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's probably embellishments or incorrect things, but it's like, yeah, some of this stuff is probably true because, like, why would someone, what do they get out of lying?
Yeah.
These days, you get a lot out of lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like back then, it was like society would reject you,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, history's weird, dude.
Yeah.
History is one, written by the victors, and two,
Yep.
it's just like, you'll never know.
It's a lot of putting hearsay and
It
accounts.
is all hearsay that
events
you can like, yeah, you can
together
cross check,
too.
but it's
Yeah.
you just hear about it and things get passed down and they
Mhm.
might not be passed down correctly,
Yeah.
and it's just how it is. Like you're never
Mhm.
gonna know. That's okay. So let's bring in Pirates of the Caribbean a little bit,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay.
I think that's like the gateway drug, right?
I think
For us
that's
and
gotta
many people.
be. I think for most of society, I think that's what they. That's how they know pirates. It's either they watch those or they've been on the ride.
Yeah, and what was it before that though? Treasure Island probably. And
Yeah.
spin-offs of that, not spin-offs, but like things related to Treasure Island, and then probably little stories about Blackbeard and whatever, you know, like
Yeah.
so.
Well, then there was. Well, we brought this up before the show. I mean, Goonies has a little touches
Right.
on it.
Right.
So and a lot of it was like treasure maps and obviously buried treasure and stuff, which just wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it's
really.
just kind
So-
of it's weird that like pirates is just like a genre of thing.
Yeah, and like we've talked about in modern day, it's not even really accurate either, which is just crazy.
Yeah, like
But
X
like
marks the spot. No, it doesn't.
but also we can only get so accurate because of what we actually know.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there we don't even know where they ended up, like Captain Henry Avery.
Because
He just vanished.
yeah,
We don't know if he drowned.
why would they tell you?
We don't know if he got away. Like, or even Ned Lowe. We don't know if he got away.
Because it's like, well, think of it. If you finally got the big score,
Mm-hmm.
you got your money, you wouldn't want anyone to know where you went.
Well,
It's the whole joke of like, if I was a billionaire,
yeah,
you would never hear from me.
It was a lot easier to definitely hide where you were too at that time.
Yeah, but
There's
like
no phones.
Yeah, but
and all
even
that
now,
stuff,
like,
so.
dude, if you had $1 billion, like, if I had $1 billion, you'd never hear from me again. Why would you? Why would I like put myself out there? Like all these guys going on Twitter, whining about stuff, and they just got billions. Like, dude, go home, go to an island, play video games, buy a pirate ship, like go swimming, paint. Like, what do you need to influence the world for? You know? So yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you just like, oh yeah, I got legends about me, and just disappear?
Yeah.
But
which is crazy too that you say that, because Henry Avery, Captain Kidd, even Sir Francis Drake, like these. Oh, and Henry Morgan. Yes, Henry Morgan, Captain Morgan was a real pirate. All those guys knew they were legends in their day. That's what's even more crazy is like, imagine being a legend and also knowing you're a legend. And they inspired a lot of other pirates like Sam Bellamy and Blackbeard and Horny Gold and Henry Jennings, Charles Vane, Stede Bonnet. Heck, Stede Bonnet. I was telling you this at Disneyland. Stede Bonnet became a pirate. He didn't need to. He was from a wealthy family.
This is who we talked about.
But he heard about all the adventures.
He was like us.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I want to get on a ship with my bros.
He said, I'm going to do it. And he sucked at it.
Well, dude, it's like...
his ship had a cool name, though.
What was it?
The Revenge.
Revenge of what?
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, no, I know, but it's cool until you're like, he's not getting revenge, is he?
Well, and then what's funny is it's almost like it was foreshadowing on his own life, because Blackbeard eventually betrays him. So for a while, he's actually underneath Blackbeard. Like Blackbeard takes him under his wing.
Oh, so he didn't buy a ship right away?
No,
or he's part of his
Stede
fleet?
Bonnet buys his ship, buys his crew, and says, guys, we're going to be pirates. When he already had the money. He just wanted to go adventuring. Here's what happened. He goes to do his first capture. Completely loses, figures out where he needs to go, and he pulls into a harbor where Blackbeard just happens to be, because all these guys went to the same ports and harbors. They knew where to go, and I don't know how Stede Bonnet got the right information of knowing where to go, but he figured it out. So he pulls into the harbor, and all these other pirates are like, this is a ship we've never seen before. Basically, picture this really beat up car showing up to the car meet, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? So everyone's already looking at him. And they basically tell Blackbeard what happened, and Blackbeard goes, all right, come with me. We're going to go back and get that ship. So from that point on, Stede Bonnet kind of looks at him as a mentor, which is crazy because their personalities were so different. Like, they couldn't be more different. But a lot of people think, like I said, it's a lot of hearsay and stuff. Stede Bonnet was known as the gentleman pirate because he was raised proper and he knew how to be suave and talk and be polite and everything. So I think he had a silver tongue, I guess. So he knew his way to charm people. So we think that's why Blackbeard probably took him on as like, hey, I kind of like this guy. Like, this guy is pretty great, and he's not going to do me any wrong. Well, yes. Years later, Blackbeard does betray him, and Stede Bonnet goes to get revenge on him, which his ship was already called the Revenge.
How'd that go?
I don't even think he got to him.
Like, he's never found them?
Yeah, I don't even think he got to him.
Dude, like, think about that. Like, you can't find anyone out. You're gonna go in the ocean. And I know there's the ports that they go to, but
it's crazy.
People would tell Blackbeard, this guy's looking for you.
Yeah, it's crazy to me the amount of times these guys cross paths.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they did go to same ports and same harbors, same islands and stuff like that. But when you look at the map of these islands that they were going, there's still a big chunk of ocean in the middle of it and all around it. And they would just cross paths with each other, like, "Hey, that's the homie over there."
Mm-hmm.
And I do say homie because a lot of time pirates did not cross each other, like they did not attack each other. It was very much of like, "Hey, mutual respect. We're all out here trying to do the same thing." So when they did attack each other, it was very much a "you did me wrong, I'm coming for you," or it was a very big jealousy thing. So.
Pirates, man. So, okay. Where do I want to go with pirates next? Oh, yeah. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, and then eventually the movies. So, that's very like fun-loving pirates.
Yeah.
Even though they burned the city down.
Yeah.
But what is appealing to you first about the ride? Like, what's your favorite part of the ride, let's say?
I'd say my favorite part is the whole cave system thing they got going on.
I think I kind of stopped caring after the cave system.
Yeah?
Not like I'm over it,
Mm-hmm.
but everything after is like fine.
Yeah.
But I love the caverns.
Yeah.
Because
that's the adventure.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Is you're like, what if I just stumbled upon this one day? But you never will, obviously.
And yeah, there's something cool about like the what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
it's kind of like with the Goonies when they get to the ship in the big cave and all that. That's what I think of, at least.
Oh, okay.
But I also I get kind of confused too, because okay, so you get to the cave after the 2 drops, and you see the dead guys, the skeletons that are stabbed on the beach, and then you get to the I forget what they call them. There's something the helmsman, the deadly helmsman, the ghostly helmsman, and that's the skeleton with the bandana thing and the lightning, and he's supposedly on the Royal Fortune, which is also kind of funny. I wonder if Walt Disney knew that Bartholomew Roberts, which is another pirate, had multiple ships called the Royal Fortune to confuse people that were coming after him.
That's interesting.
But no, so apparently that skeleton is on the Royal Fortune, but it's clearly a crashed ship into the cave, right? Like into the rocks. So the part that gets confusing to me is the rest of it the treasure from that ship, or is it just treasure that's been hidden there?
Oh, he could have been on the way to get the treasure that was hidden there.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Are we looking at different pirate crews all at the same time? I mean, I guess we could be, because 2 of them are dead from being stabbed.
Yeah, I think it's so the story is like the guy on the in the bayou is like reminiscing.
Yeah.
Right. So it could just be generally pirate's life for me, like what was going on at the time, like all the it could be 3 different like quote unquote scenes from different times that are just put together for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or it could be a hideout, which is kind of what they tried to do with the movies.
Well, which is interesting that you say that too, because at the very end of the ride, or beginning, depending on how you look at it, I say the end, but the map that's where the parrot is it has an X there saying like this is where the treasure is, essentially. So that's just interesting to me. Yeah.
So
you know what? Do you ever do the when you come out of that cave and you're at the ship, or you're at the Wicked Wench where Barpos is? You ever look back and it's actually like it looks like it's supposed to be a cave in the side of the.
Yeah,
like
I did. I actually did.
Like they actually did a good job, just in case
I did
you did
like
look
very
back.
recently, and I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, it kind of makes it seem a little cooler to me, because I'm like, whoa, it actually looks like we just came out of a cave.
Yeah, because we did. Coming out of my cave, and I'm feeling just fine. So yeah, the treasure room was always my favorite thing as a kid, and that was always like, whoa.
Which, like you said, is totally
treasure.
what they referenced in Pirates 1.
Yeah, and Il de
It's
Muerto, right?
yeah. I was actually gonna say good job. Which did you know in the second movie they say, "Oh hey, the tides came in and now that island's underwater."
Huh.
They just straight up say it.
Why?
Well, just like in the third movie when it's just like a one-off line. Don't do you need me to remind you that what we did to your pet and they killed the Kraken off screen?
Oh,
In
yeah.
my opinion, they did that because they had the Kraken and they didn't know how to use it in the third movie because it was kind of this overpowered thing.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, this movie is already long. It had set a world record for the script. Did you know that?
No.
Like the most pages.
At World's End?
Yeah, at World's End did.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's been beaten since, but at one point it
Yeah,
was
these days.
the longest script.
Why?
I don't know. Just I don't know.
I actually liked At World's End.
It's my favorite one.
Really?
Yeah. And I just rewatched all three of them with Sheridan too. And
So
it's still my favorite one.
The first half of the
Mhm.
first one is
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
It kind of like slows down a little bit.
Mhm.
Like how many times are you gonna go to this island? Kingdom Hearts is like that too.
My favorite gag in all three of them is someone will leave someone somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and think they'll never see them again. And then they just show up on the next place that they're at. And I know they did it on purpose too. Because there's a time where Will gets straight up left somewhere. And Jack and everybody, they're all talking, and Will walks up to them. And Jack's just like, how did he get
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so I probably used to think the first one was my favorite. I think At World's End is.
I love all of them.
I think yeah,
all
I
three
think,
of them.
Yeah, all
I
three.
should say. Anna.
And then I think At World's End is like aesthetically very striking, especially
Mhm.
the beginning
Mhm.
with Jack's weird thing going on. But I brought this up before. I think before I moved out of my parents' house, my cousin and my brother were all there, and we were doing something else. But then we had television, and we just put like I forgot what channel was playing, like TNT or something. It was just playing Dead Man's Chest. And we just put it on in the background. And then you do that thing, where you're not watching. You're at the back of the couch, and then you like sit on the edge of the couch, and then you're just
And now you're fully watching.
dude, we're
you're
just
locked in.
Well, we're locked in, and we're like, this is a really good movie.
Yeah. The music is good too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Dead Man's Chest might be my favorite after that. Just like Davy Jones is such a good character. Dude,
I say he's one of the best villains in cinema.
The organ
movies.
scene. And then I think it is was it the third one with the bucket that they give him?
Oh yes.
I think
that's the part. That's the. I think it's.
It's like a negotiation.
Yeah, it's like a negotiation scene, but he can't be on land.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the funniest gags and one of the funniest
you can see
screenshots or like
you can see they use multiple buckets to get him to where he is.
It's just like one of the funniest shots.
And he's supposed to be the most threatening.
Yeah, and it's meant to be silly. Where they're just like, Elizabeth's there, they're all just standing there like menacingly, but he's in a bucket of seawater.
This dude is in a bucket and he goes, "Do you fear death?"
Do you fear death? Great special effects too. So yeah, I think that it's weird. I don't think I ever needed the movies to get into the ride. I think the ride, it was fun to imagine the movies as coming out of the ride, but that's it. I didn't need it to go back, but it's not really. There's nothing wrong with it either. But
speaking of stuff like that, this actually caught me off guard, and yes, it's in the one I said I like the most, the third one. So you know how in the beginning they're trying to get to Davy Jones's locker, and they're about to go over the waterfall. Out of nowhere, Elizabeth says, "You're gonna get us killed" or something like that. I don't know why they chose to have him say this, but my favorite character, Barbossa, goes. He says the line from the ride where it's, "This may be the last friendly words you hear," and I'm like, what does that have to do with what she just said?
yeah, sometimes there's just Easter eggs that are I mean, you didn't have to do that,
Yeah.
It would have been fine. Yeah, whatever. So
I'm like, she's still with you guys.
So Yeah, they just and then do you remember we got the weird fog thing?
The weird fall. Oh, are you talking about the waterfall
Yeah,
where it was a Mr. Fog thing where it was Davy Jones,
yeah.
and then after Stranger Tides came out, it would be Davy Jones, and then he would go away, and then it would be Blackbeard. And
You
he'd
know what
say
I hated
something,
about
and then
that?
he'd go away.
They had to name drop themselves in case people didn't know who they were.
Yeah,
So says I, Blackbeard. No one talks like that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
And then Davy Jones would go, "So says I, Davy Jones," and he'd go, "Ha ha!"
Yeah.
Dude, just
It's
laugh.
so weird. Yeah. Love the movies.
They
Love
kept
the ride.
so even though they got rid of, this is the weirdest part, they get rid of the the Mister thing,
Mm.
but they kept the very end when you're going up
Yeah,
the
sometimes
hill.
yeah.
It's still Davy Jones and Blackbeard, and they're talking to you like they've already spoken to you because before in the ride they did, before they took it out. But they took it out, but they didn't change
But
the
they
end.
just they're kind of like
So
the
now it's kind
dead
of
men
like
do
if you
tell
listen
tells,
for
yeah.
it, hey, Davy Jones just spoke to you, or Blackbeard just spoke to you. Congrats,
Yeah.
you heard it. Like that's a nod.
Yeah,
But like
Disneyland.
I look around when we're going up it, and everyone's talking to each other. No one really knows.
Yeah,
that
because
those
you got
guys are
stuck at
talking
the
to you.
bottom for like 20
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
You know, so you got to talk. So we've covered the rides. We've covered some video games.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Treasure Island. I want to bring up Treasure Island, and you can kind of use your Treasure Planet as the backbone of that,
Okay.
and then we'll get into Space Pirates. So I read Treasure Island. For you out there, I don't know what movie depicts it how or which way. Like feels like half the book. It's a short book. Is about the Admiral Benbow, which is the inn that
Okay.
they own. I think it's like 10 minutes of Treasure Island, Treasure Planet, right?
Is that like the building that they destroy?
It's like Jack's mom's inn.
Jim?
His name Jim Hawkins.
Yeah.
So his mom.
Oh yeah,
and him,
she owns like
the Admiral
like
Benbow.
a tavern type thing.
Yeah, so it's an inn with a tavern. It's got
Mhm.
like 5 rooms in it or something.
Okay.
And that's where Billy Bones comes in, and he's like a old pirate, and then eventually people come looking for him. Guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then this is just going to go over your head. I kind of like that part more than the pirate part because it's like this seaside inn/tavern. There's a pirate in there. He's telling stories. He's got a chest. He's got doubloons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this very like, like just thinking about it, thinking about piracy, thinking about it's kind of like it wasn't meant to be, but it's like this meta thing of what we're doing. It's like the idea of it is cooler than it actually happening,
Mm-hmm.
because then they tell the story of them going to the island, and it's brutal, and there's betrayals, and it's like, yeah, we're just like out on the ocean, man.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks out here.
Weeks at a time.
And then they're on the island and they're just murdering each other. So spoilers for like a 100-year-old book or whatever. How old is the book? I wonder. Shout out to Robert Louis Stevenson. I don't know. What is original copyright? They don't even say, because it's like a public domain book at this point. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up for everyone. Treasure Island book.
While you're doing that real quick, I'll just throw in something.
Oh,
Oh,
John, can you guess
when the book was written?
when it was published as a book?
1870s.
1883. Wow, pretty good.
Oh wow.
Pretty good. Like, I would say guessing over 100 years ago and being within 13 or 10 years, I think that's great. Wow. If I didn't know any better, I would have said like 1930.
No, because the reason why I did guess so early is because like I said, the reason why we know about a lot of these pirates is because of the guy who wrote the book so close to after it all happened.
This
Which
is a
blows
separate thing
my-
you're talking about.
No, I know.
The other book,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the
Do
other
you know
one.
what that's called?
I think it's a general history of pirates. Maybe.
I'll look that up. General history. Oh, he's Pirates with a Y, dude.
That's probably it. Then.
Yeah.
When was it written?
Captain Charles Johnson?
Yes, Charles Johnson. There we go. Probably like 1740, 1750.
Why did I say 2014? 1724, dude.
Bro, that's literally
That's
Calico
160
Jack
years
was
before.
executed in 1720. And this guy wrote a book on as many as he could and got it out by 1724. That's 4 years later.
Yeah, and then, dude,
I want to know how he got all the information.
160 years later was Treasure Island, so.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know if he hung around there. That's where he would get it, you know? Okay, so I was talking about the first half is my favorite, the books, whatever. So, the idealism of just like, yeah, the idea is so much better. Because I brought it up to someone, they're like, well, I'm like, pirates. They're like, what? Like, I am the captain now? Like, Somali pirates? Like, piracy now is not that it was never cool. They like pillaged and, destroyed lives and did terrible things to people.
I think what made it cool to the pirates at the time is, you remember how I was telling you Henry Avery, Captain Kidd, Sir Francis Drake. Those guys, I think all of them but Captain Kidd got away. So they were like, well, if they could do it, we can do it.
Mm.
And did you know that Blackbeard was about to retire when he got?
No. Oh, yes, because of Black Flag.
He was planning his retirement and was getting pretty much there. And a pirate hunter that just really had it out for him actually tricked him, made him think there were less crew on the ship that Blackbeard went for than there were, because they hid below deck. And then when they all jumped across, they realized Blackbeard was actually on their ship. That's when they all came out. And they say like Blackbeard was, I don't know how accurate it is. They say he was stabbed like 20 times and shot 6 times. Some people like to say that his head was cut off immediately, but
yeah, I wouldn't believe that.
They say, the historians say that actually the guy cut off his head after he was already dead, and then tied it to the very front of the ship. And then when he got to where he was going, he put it on like
a pike or something.
Yeah, he put it on a pike but it was like on really close to the ocean, so that any pirate saw it was like, oh,
and that was
this guy means business.
That was like the end.
Yeah, because Blackbeard was known as, which is so crazy to me, he was known as one of the most scary, I guess like the scariest pirate at that time or ever, which is crazy because they say that they didn't even have a record of him killing anybody until the day he died. That's when they have record of him killing people. But Blackbeard was also crazy, man. He would put fuses and stuff in his hair and his beard and then light it. Like I said, scare tactics. That's all it was. There was not always ship fighting. Actually, most of the time it wasn't ship fighting or even sword fighting. It was, we're going to scare you, catch you completely off guard. You're not going to know what to do and be overwhelmed. We give up. Take some of our crew. Take our stuff. Boom, we win.
Yeah.
And sometimes they would fire like a cannon shot across the bow of the ship that they were going to go after. And sometimes they would chase ships for 3 weeks or weeks at a time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, could you imagine chasing somebody for 3 weeks and the person you're chasing is probably looking at you like, hey, man, this guy's still behind. Yeah. That ship's still behind us. And then I also find it very interesting that there was such a code and order to piracy that they would even reveal their pirate flag to let you know, hey, this is what we're doing. It wasn't like a we're just going to come up on you, pretend to be with you, and then do it. No, it was like, hey, we're close enough. We're dropping our flag. This is what we're doing. There was a pirate, though, who did actually raise... he was going after a ship of a certain nation, and then he just happened to have the flag of that nation, and he put it up, and that's how he got up to them. I think it was Bartholomew Roberts, actually.
I believe There's something similar like that in Black Sails.
Okay.
Like they pull the
and then speaking of flags, what would you say is the most
the Jolly Roger.
Okay,
dude.
okay. Do you know who the who flew that flag?
No.
Calico Jack did.
Okay.
I don't know why this flag is the most well-known pirate flag.
It's cool, dude. It's skull and crossbones.
He was one of the most unsuccessful pirates. And it's his flag that everyone knows as the pirate flag.
I wonder if it's just because it's easy to draw. You know what I mean? Like in cartoons and that kind of thing. So you got some flags up here.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? So here's the thing. You think of the skull and crossbones, but really it's the skull with the cutlasses.
It's the skull with the cutlasses, yes.
Yeah. Because people say skull and crossbones,
one.
but it's not.
Yeah.
Who's the skull and crossbones?
Edward England, which I actually don't know that much about.
Yeah. Who's the on top?
That's Walter Kennedy, who I also don't know that much about. But here's Bartholomew Roberts.
Uh-huh.
His is
two dudes high-fiving?
Well, one is him. He made himself. And he's sharing, I believe, it's either an hourglass or a bone, but the other one is a skeleton. So he's like, deal with death, I guess. And then there's Richard Worley, who is the skull on top of the crossbones versus the crossbones underneath him. And Christopher Moody was a red one. Edward Lowe, that guy was a... So Edward Lowe and Charles Vane are pirates I probably dislike the most just because they were actually the evil, rotten ones. Mm-hmm. Ned Lowe went and chopped the lips off of some dude and then fed them to him after he boiled them in water.
All right, no one needed to know that.
So, yeah, those two guys I do not like. Oh, and then Blackbeard's was like a devil skeleton stabbing a heart.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, like... and then Henry Avery is it's a crossbones and then a skull looking to the side with a bandana on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I think a lot of people don't even realize that pirates, they didn't all fly the same flag too. Because I know everyone thinks of like the skull and the cutlasses, cross cutlasses. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up too. It's just like, they all had their own personalities, and they all were vastly different from each other.
So, remember the original marketing for Pirates of the Caribbean? It was like a Jolly Roger, but it was Jack. Like, the skull, like, for Pirates of the movie.
Wasn't it like torches at one point, too? Cross torches, I think, or something?
Yeah, but the skull was him.
Yeah.
Because it had the bandana with the beads and everything.
Yeah.
Dude, I was obsessed with that marketing.
With that?
Came out. I think it was like my little like Razor flip phone wallpaper, like dead serious. I was so into that. Yeah, what a time. What you got in there?
I should have brought this up when we were talking about ship names earlier, but I have a list of ship names too.
Just rattle off the names. Let's just go through the names.
Queen Anne's Revenge. The Witta Galley. Royal Fortune, Fancy, Revenge, Adventure Galley, Bachelor's Delight, Ranger, Flying Dragon, Amity, Blessing, Royal James, Sloop Revenge, Happy Delivery, Adventure, Night Rambler, Rising Sun, Lesef Volant?
I had some French crap.
General Hunter, Pandora, The Pearl, it has nothing to do with the Black Pearl, and La Concorde.
So, do you have any other pirate thoughts you'd like to share with the class before I give people just the fun fact been going around about Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies? Like, what you got anything left in you?
I feel like we haven't really talked about Anne Bonny or Mary Read. They were like the only two female pirates.
Go for it.
So funny enough, Mary Read dressed as a man and ended up on Calico Jack's ship And Bonnie was also on Calico Jack's ship, which I find so funny that like the only two, like the most notable female pirates we know were on the same ship. Like, what are the chances of that? But Anne Bonny and Calico Jack had a thing for each other, and since he was a captain, he was able to essentially marry her, like wed them. So, one day, or actually, over the course of a few days, Calico Jack realizes Anne Bonny's been talking to this other sailor, this other crew member, and spending time with them and stuff. Like, hey, man, you're my lady. Like, what's going on here? And it got to the point where Calico Jack storms Mary Reed, who was going by Mark Reed at the time, and he gets her cornered up and basically has his sword at her throat. And Bonnie comes running down like this isn't what you think it is. And then that's when Mary Reed basically proves that like, hey, I'm a woman, like I snuck on here, which I do find this um crazy that he was so mad at the time, but then he goes and does this where once he realizes, okay, this is now a second woman on my ship, because remember that wasn't a thing at the time.
Yeah.
Like
Not at all.
very superstitious and stuff. He goes and agrees to keep her identity a secret. So I was like, oh, that's actually pretty notable. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, you know what? It was probably because he already had Anne Bonny on the ship, and his crew probably already didn't like that. And then he's like, guess what, guys?
Yeah.
There's another one.
Ping.
Or what you always say. This is getting out of hand. There's two of them. So, but they were also known to be more fierce and fearless than their male counterparts on the ship.
Yeah, because they really wanted it.
Yeah, in fact, when they get captured, it's Calico Jack's fault because so they got all Calico Jack got very drunk, and this pirate hunter ship comes up to him and is actually looking for him, and they basically are shouting at each other, and Calico Jack is so drunk he's not even paying attention that this basically just snuck up on them. But Anne Bonny and Mary Reed are like, yo, we saw them the whole time and we were trying to tell you, you just weren't listening. And so Calico Jack finally addresses it, and he basically shouts his full name. And so the guy that's coming after them is like, oh, we found him, guys. And Bonnie and Mary Reed are like, what are you doing? And then he goes and says, we're going to fight you, and we'll give no quarter, which if you say you give no quarter, I don't know if I explained this already. It's basically we're fighting to the death.
Yeah, like if you surrender.
There's no surrendering at all.
You
like,
can surrender,
but you're going to die.
Yeah.
So they fought, and guess what? Calico Jack and a lot of the male pirates go and hide below deck, while Anne Bonny and Mary Reed are fighting for their lives. In fact,
all the women listening right now are like classic.
They're I believe it was I believe it was Anne Bonny. She shoots at them. Like, what are you guys doing? And of course, they lost, and they get captured, and that's the end of Jack Rackham's pirate career. But Anne Bonny and Mary Reed, they plead their bellies, saying they're pregnant. And they actually do like an evaluation, whatever that meant at the time. And
I don't even want to know what that meant at the time.
And they I guess they were. So their execution was halted, but
Was this in Black Flag?
It might have been with
Like
Anne Bonny.
Yeah.
But so we don't know what happened with Anne Bonny. We just know she wasn't killed in the prison or died in the prison. She kind of just vanished. But Mary Reed, sadly, we know that she died in the cell because they say she had like cell fever or whatever. Some kind of, it had to do with the like something fever that had to do with you being in the prison. Some people speculate that she probably died trying to give birth also.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Different time. Yeah,
So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because we didn't bring them up. I mean, we brought them up once, but
So this isn't going to be a real fact because it's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people don't know like the general story of Jack Sparrow because it's like deleted scenes and stuff.
Oh,
So
like the off-screen stuff?
well, and it's in deleted scenes. So Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, was the captain of the Black Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
And Davy Jones in the second film always tells Jack he owes him 100 souls.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack tries to claim that he is worth 100 souls or something, right? There's like a whole thing.
It's originally it's 100 years. You owe me 100 years on the Flying Dutchman, and then that's when they get into the argument of, well, then how many souls could I give you to make up for that? And then that's when he says 100 souls, and then Jack says, I'm not like worth that much.
So, well, there's something where you know where the 100 souls comes from?
I just figured it was because that's the lifetime
No.
for each one.
So, the Black Pearl was not called that originally.
It was the Wicked Wench.
So, it was Jack took it over. He took this job, and he had to transport.
And he was working for Cutler Beckett.
So he had to transport 100 slaves.
Oh, that makes sense.
And he did not like that.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
And so he freed the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got caught, the Black Pearl was burned.
Yeah, by Cutler Beckett. Cutler Beckett.
And it sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
That's also when Jack gets marked as a pirate and he gets the brand.
Yeah.
That's why Cutler Beckett and Jack say they have history.
And this is not a spoiler because none of this is like in the film.
Yeah.
This is just like backstory that might get you to be interested in the films if somehow you haven't watched them.
Mm-hmm.
So it sinks and he makes a deal with Davy Jones to get the ship back.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it scares people so much is that people saw the Black Pearl burn and sink.
Yeah, and they're like, that ship shouldn't exist.
Yeah. And the 100 souls that Jack is worth or whatever it is because he freed 100 souls.
See, I knew about every other part, but I didn't realize it was 100 slaves that he freed. And that equals to the souls.
Because
that makes a lot of sense.
They really just hint at it.
Yeah.
Because he says something like, it's cargo I didn't want to transport or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had freed and
I think he goes, people aren't cargo, mate.
Yeah. And you just think like, okay, yeah, true, man.
Yeah.
But like, and there's videos going around bringing this up now because, you know, people like watch deleted scenes and it's like, how could you cut that, man?
It's so good.
There's so much texture and like, it's one of the like those things.
And it would only make people like this character even more and view him more as like a good guy.
Dude, and we talk about this a lot.
Or at least have more redeeming qualities.
There's so many things. There's so many films with great representation of diversity and that kind of stuff. That is just like, this is how the story's written and it's good. And then there's so many films where they so clearly, obviously shoehorn stuff in.
Yeah.
And don't think I'm on the side that you think I'm on of this bad like agenda stuff. No. People put stuff in to say they did, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to do that. We have all these great stories that you could just let shine. And you have it like, dude, you'll have so many, like in the newer, it was The Last Jedi. It's like where they free the kids or the animals. And it's like,
oh yeah. And
they're like,
Casino Planet.
Yeah. And they're like, slavery is bad.
It was like essentially horses. They freed the race horses.
And they're like, oh, slavery is bad. It's like, it is, but you don't need to like say the word slavery is bad. You could just have a really cool story.
Or do the action without saying anything.
Yeah. And that's kind of what Pirates was.
Yeah.
Or could have been.
Yeah.
And it's just like left on the floor. And then people wonder where all this stuff is. And it's like, it was there.
Yeah. Everybody I tell that to, that whole thing, they're like, why isn't that in the movies?
Yeah. So great. And I know it's like a totally fictional story, but it brings back like that honor thing and like yeah, man, like we just wanted like treasure and money and some of them wanted more and we get it. But it's like, yeah, who was worse?
Well,
the pirates or the
It also drives home a reoccurring thing they say about Jack in the movies too. Will and Elizabeth say multiple times to other characters, Jack is a good man.
Yeah.
In fact, and when Elizabeth handcuffs him and then the Kraken thing happens and he's gone, the very end, I think the last thing Elizabeth says in the movie is he was a good man. So like you hear this story and you're like, oh, He was.
Yeah, he's a complex character.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll interest you in watching it. Because even though scenes are deleted, that doesn't mean like sometimes it means those things didn't happen. Sometimes it's just like, oh, they're just on background.
You know what else I'm very bummed they don't really show either is the whole betrayal of him and Barbosa. Barbosa was his first mate.
Oh, yeah.
And then the whole bootstrap Bill stuff.
Bootstraps. Yeah. So watch those movies. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to close with.
Okay.
Would you want to be a pirate?
That's a complicated
Like for
question.
realsies back in the day.
That's a complicated question.
Would you want to be like one of Blackbeard's buddies, you know?
I get seasick.
Oh my God. At the end of this, Long John Silver over here gets seasick. Like always?
I've been on a boat out in the ocean twice, and both times I've gotten it. So I don't know if it's something that goes away over time.
So, and I don't mean this in like a disparaging way. Like it's all in your head.
Oh, okay. Isn't it you trying to like balance yourself with?
So
emotion?
what it comes from is there's fluid in your ears.
Okay.
And when that fluid sloshes around, it makes you sick. Well, it throws off your balance.
Okay.
So where seasickness and motion sickness come from is when that action doesn't line up with what your eyes are seeing.
Okay.
So usually like you'll feel the motion in a car, let's say, and you're looking down at a book and your eyes are not seeing movement. That's why like the front seat helps people, right?
Yeah.
So, or you're not feeling wind, but you're getting that the.
Because sometimes they say roll down the window if you have like motion sickness.
So there's a mismatch between your senses. So your brain goes, what could possibly cause this? And it guesses poison. How do you get rid of poison?
Throw it up. Throw it up.
And this is real. It's not like, oh, poison, like I've been poisoned by a Russian Tsar. You know, it's like, no, it's poison like toxins.
It's your body trying to.
It's get the bad stuff out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you could trick your brain into thinking everything's okay, then it is because you're not poisoned. So there is still that imbalance, and you might still get wobbly.
It's just wild to me because like I don't really get it on roller coasters or
you wouldn't get it on a roller coaster
or anything.
Though. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't even get it from video games. Like in August, my brother and Sheridan, they can get it from first-person video games
because their eyes are seeing the movement and they're not feeling the movement. So that's where like VR sickness comes from.
Okay.
So great way to combat VR sickness is you put a fan in front of you.
Oh.
And the fan, one, it keeps you cool, but your ears feel wind.
Yeah.
And so the wind can cause the little fluid to move a little bit and all that. So it helps you a little bit. So, yeah, there's some of that. And yeah, that's why the C bands work. You know what those are? The little wristbands with the pressure points.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
So
Sheridan's got the really funny glasses.
I don't even want to know. So they probably close up around you. I don't know. I don't want to know.
They got like liquid in them.
Oh boy. So the C bands, everyone, don't worry. This is not going to ruin them for you. There are no pressure points in your wrists. It's not real.
Okay.
Right? Because like, wear it like 2 fingers down. Make sure it's touching. Doesn't do anything.
Is this a placebo thing?
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Here's how strong. And I don't want to hear it. This is a placebo. Here's the thing about placebo effect. I can tell you it's a placebo effect. You can in turn believe me that it's a placebo effect and no, these things don't do anything. But when I put them on, I don't get sick and it'll still work. That's how strong the placebo effect is. You can tell someone this is a placebo, but you're going to feel better. And you still do. Because the brain is as smart as it is stupid. Not you are stupid, your brain.
Yeah.
So you can know something like Kimmy gets a little car sick.
Okay.
I don't put her on blast. I'm sorry, but I don't think she cares about this thing specifically. She's like, I know these are like whatever, but they work for me. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you to take them off. If you put this silly thing on, right? If you put, and the reason I don't care is they're like $14. It's not like an $80. Remember the fake titanium
They're not like
thing?
really ripping you off.
No. It's not a ripoff. So if it's $14 and it's a little silly, but when you put them on, you don't throw up in the car.
You're gonna put them on.
By all means, please put them on. I don't know what these glasses are though. I don't want to get into that. So that kind of stuff works.
Yeah.
And then there are like medicines like Dramamine that does actually like mess.
What
with
does
you.
the ginger do though? Apparently, if you drink ginger
is like so strong.
Chew ginger.
Ginger's so strong, and it really settles your stomach.
Okay.
So it might just fight the feeling of the sickness in the stomach.
Okay.
Yeah, it all just goes together. So John, you get seasick. The question originally was, would you be a pirate? If you didn't get seasick, John, what do you think about being a pirate? Pirate's life for you. Is the pirate's life for you?
I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea of adventure, but I know that pirates didn't live very long, and most of their careers didn't go past 5 years. And even if I was successful, I would still be, I feel like, constantly worried that they're going to find me somehow or some way. Because that's what it was, man. When they really put the hammer down, they were coming for all of them. And it was, you're going to...
Kind of happened to the Cowboys. Isn't that like the story of Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh, like the outlaws and the bandits and
it's
stuff?
It's like there's... this is not a spoiler, and I haven't even played it.
The police actually started to become more of a police force.
Like the I think I've heard the gist of Red Dead 2 is that the Cowboys, the outlaws, know that this life is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this isn't going to be...
They were finding the government... they were using the Pinkertons, who I think became the FBI eventually.
No, the Pinkertons are still real, and they're terrible. They went after some guy that got a Magic the Gathering set early and threatened him at his door.
Oh.
And took it from him. And guys, the Pinkertons, they're just people. If they show up at your door, tell them, F off. You're not the police. And don't open the door.
All right.
Yeah. If the police show up at your door and don't have a warrant, tell them, please come back with a signed warrant. It's got to be signed too. But don't tell them F off. Don't anger them. They'll shoot your dog. They won't, man. So anyways, yeah. Is the pirate's life for me? No, I just want to be on the ship with my bros, you know?
Yeah, that's what
But that's about it. Like, just the adventurer. And if a pirate sees me, he's like, you can come aboard. There's nothing here. Please don't take my ship. It's like driving a Toyota.
I think for me
into the Middle
also is I actually really do kind of enjoy the supernatural elements that were shoehorned in or shoved in later on, like the Flying Dutchman, the ghost ships, the Kraken, mermaids that would grab you and pull you underwater. I think that adds more to the adventure part, or just going on an island and, oh, here's some artifact from an ancient civilization that, for example, oh, now I have the Fountain of Youth or something like that, you know? Or even Cursed Aztec Gold or whatever. There's something about, even in my life right now, I still have daydreams of what if I just went out in the desert and I found a crashed plane or something? You know what I mean? Not like a recent one where I find bodies or anything like that, but just, oh my gosh,
like a prop plane or something.
I found a plane that nobody knows is even here. Or even you jump in the ocean and there's a ship that no one knows is even here, just down at the bottom. Stuff like that. It's just stumble uponing. Or I said it earlier, way earlier in the show, the Goonies, when they follow all these clues and then they're in a cave and there's a ship in the cave that's been in there the whole time, and their town is right there, and nobody knew. For example, also you might know this, Laguna. There's this lighthouse in the side of this cliff, not the one on the beach.
No, I know what you're talking.
There's this lighthouse in this cliff, and where it is, it's so awkward.
It's in the
And then-
canyon.
And then if you look 30 feet below, there's a window of some kind in the rockwork. And I'm like, is that connected to the lighthouse up there? Like, what is going on here?
Let's see. Laguna.
I think it's just like the sense of, like Indiana Jones, the sense of discovery, but like with pirates and stuff. I think that's what fascinates me the most.
Okay. Known locally as the Laguna Beach Digester. Okay. Water treatment tower and water company lighthouse. Do you want to know? Or do you want to
No, you
daydream?
can tell me because I see it all the time.
These are remnants of the first major public works project for the city, a sewage treatment plant built in
Oh, wow.
1935 with New Deal funding assistance. Shout out to FDR. It was demolished in 1989. The ground level tower housed the digester of the plant. The lighthouse covered the air vent. As late as 2019, demolition seemed likely, but Laguna residents Barbara and Greg McGillivray stepped forward with an offer to donate $200,000 to renovating the building. And in 2020, the city council voted to fund the project. And then they kind of like refurbished it with the village entrance parking structure project. So yeah, that's like, it's got like this cool little building at the base.
But I'm talking about.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So that is a vent.
Okay.
So there's.
That explains why it's so narrow too.
Are you talking about like this little window thing?
No. So it's not in the picture.
Is it
It's
to
not
the
in
right?
picture. But if you go, it's somewhere like right here. I think it might even be the building might even be in front of it. But in the cliff, I see like a. It kind of looks like there's.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you got it. There. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's probably part of the ventilation or something.
Mm.
Oh, and I think there was a bigger structure that they demolished. So
Okay.
farther in and to the left, there's a house built into the canyon,
Oh.
and the roof just like comes out of it. It's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's like someone lives there now. It's
Okay,
not
okay.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't know what that was either. So today we learned. I wonder if Kimmy did.
I'm so glad I know. I see that all the time.
Yeah, it's
because
so,
of my job.
Dude, it's so mysterious.
It makes you think like,
Yeah.
hey man, it could be a Goonie situation.
There still might be, dude. You know?
Or like
So,
National Treasure. Or
Yeah. So yeah, I think for both of us, ship with the bros, that would be cool. But it's just a genre we really like and hope that we can. I think that's why we like the video games about them and hope for good ones.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can do the thing. You can have the fantasy
Yeah.
with the magic. And it's not real.
Yeah.
And you don't get seasick and no one gets hurt. But yeah, it looks like maybe the pirate's life is not for us.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work, a lot of diseases, a lot of getting injured too.
Yeah.
And you better hope the seas are on your side.
Yeah. So with that, you all let us know. Is the pirate's life for you? Or do we just drink up me hearties? Yo ho. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit to the Disneyland Resort. Please lower your head, watch your step, and exit to the driver's right-hand side only.